Welcome back to Inside Bristol. Well, we always tell you about so many wonderful events that go on downtown, and today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking to Alan Hurley, and he's going to share for us his vision and his role in assisting downtown becoming what a great place it is. Alan?
Well, you know, when we sold out our company in 2010, we felt pretty big about trying to how do we help create jobs directly or indirectly, and we just didn't know what that meant exactly. And loved the downtown. We had looked at many buildings downtown over the years, and quite honestly, at the time when we were looking to buy them, we honestly just couldn't afford them. They were a lot less expensive then than they are today, but we just couldn't afford to buy those, and so we just had a passion and a love for downtown, and just didn't know exactly what we wanted to do. And at the time, the city manager, Jeff and Mike Sparks, come over and ask if, hey, can we talk about this building? And I'm like, well, no, guys, I don't think I want to do anything that big. And they just kept on, and like 3 or 4 days in a row. Finally, I'm like, man, I got to meet with these guys, man. If I don't, they're going to keep calling. And so I met with them, and they said, listen, there's an opportunity for a restaurant in town. It's had a couple meetings, couple opportunities. They've kind of fell apart. They've just not come to fruition so far, and we need to try to figure this out. We think this restaurant would be good for downtown Bristol. And I'm like, well, I don't know, guys. Let me think about it. 2 or 3 days go by, and of course they're calling. What do you think? And I said, well, let's talk one more. Let's just talk a little bit. And so we sit down and talk, and the next thing you know, we're taking a 50,000 square foot building and demoing it from the bottom up. And we ended up with this building here where 620 State Restaurant's at, the Foundation Event Facility, and Northeast State Satellite Campus for Bristol. So pretty neat, because the concept of everything, some of it had already been done. There was some guys that had put some work into looking at some opportunities with the restaurant and some other things in the building. And when we looked at downtown and said, you know what, there's so many people that's been working so long and so hard to get Bristol, the downtown, built back up. And I kept driving down State Street over and over and over. I just kept going, man, this is just on the edge. It's on the edge of being there. I mean, this thing has went from tumbleweed across the road to, man, it's kind of cool downtown now. And so our whole philosophy was, if we come in and we done something that was a little unique and took one of these big buildings and done a refurbish and a remodel on it with all 3 floors, where typically a lot of folks only use one. We said, you know, we're going to go into all of them. We didn't really know what we were going to do with the other 2 yet, to be honest with you. But by gosh, we knew we were going to try to do all 3 floors. And so we started and just got creative and brought out those entrepreneurial spirits, and just we found ways to put things together on top of the restaurant. And we come into this building, and it was pretty much a complete overall. I mean, all the way down, none of the existing plumbing, electrical, all that had to be taken out. All the walls were plastered where there was brick, which they took a significant process. They took little small air chisels and chiseled every single bit of that plaster off, and then 4-inch grinders, and ground the walls, and then blasted the walls with walnut shells, and then had to clean them and then seal them. It was a unbelievable undertaking to make that happen. All the posts, there's 90 of those big posts per floor. Those were all hand sanded to kind of give it that unique design, as we were working with the engineer Thompson Litton to design this facility. You know, we had a vision of what we wanted to look like, and we ended up, I believe, about 95% of what our vision was, and that we thought that would help, and we think it did help. It was one spoke in the wheel, and then you see other people start doing more, and there's more people being bought, and we were just a piece of the momentum going forward, and we're just very fortunate and glad to be part of it. There's a couple organizations that we have that do a lot in Bristol that are kind of neat as well. You know, the Paramount has been here for so many years and does such a great job. They're a big part of what happens downtown. When a Paramount has a big show, man, they're packed in all downtown. You can't find a part. The restaurants are full. So the more the Paramount grows, the better off we'll be. The artists they're bringing in, they've got some neat folks, and so kudos to those guys for continuing to do what they've done for a long time. It's very appreciative. And then the ACMA, which is actually located here at the 620 State Building. It's a grassroots museum, the Appalachian Cultural Music Association. Those guys do a great job as well. It's focused mostly on bluegrass and the roots. The museum here is a little different than the museum at the BCM. It's full of artifacts, things from 1927 all the way through today. Artists from our region within a couple 100-mile radius, you know, instruments, hats, pictures, Archie Campbell's easel that he painted with. There's so many neat things in there. And it basically tells a story from point A to point B. And then they have the pick-and porch that's in the foundation event facility every Monday night from 7 to 9, which is neat, where they bring in artists from, some of them are local artists from our region, and some of them are artists from outside of our region. So they bring those artists in. It's a pretty good time every Monday night. So if you've not had a chance to get there, I'd encourage you to get there. Those folks do a great job as well.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Alan, and thank you all for being with us. We will see you next time on Inside Bristol.